And because of all those storms out there, NASA is checking for any damage to Space Shuttle Atlantis or for the launch pad. After a lightning strike nearby, Atlantis is poised to blast off on Friday on the very last shuttle flight. But thunderstorms are threatening to keep the spaceship grounded. Our Brendan McLaughlin joins us now live from Kennedy Space Center with the very latest on this historic mission. Good evening, Brendan.
Hi, Wendy. Yeah, it's raining lightly now, but boy, it was really coming down earlier. And as you said, there was a lightning strike that actually hit the launch pad. They have done their investigation and they find that there is no problem. So that just leaves the weather. About a 30% chance that the weather will cooperate for tomorrow's launch. NASA tells us that they have had successful launches when the odds were lower than that. So we hope that this will all work out. And you know all those people that kept saying that they were going to get out to see a launch one of these days? Well, they're all going to be here tomorrow. An estimated 1 million people. And that really puts the pressure on the crew.
For the first time ever, a space shuttle mission to the International Space Station will carry only 4 astronauts. Former NASA launch director Bob Seek says all 4 were chosen for their skills and experience.
It's a higher degree of difficulty for them and those that are involved because they know it's the last one. And they have to deal with that distraction and the trepidation and the emotions that go with that.
Atlantis pilot Doug Hurley is passionate about space exploration, but mindful of the dangers. Hurley was assigned to strap in the ill-fated crew of Columbia that was lost in 2003.
Obviously, it was hard on the entire country and on the astronaut corps, but to lose 7 people, that you're close to. And then it kind of makes you, dig deep and look down inside yourself and ask if this is really what you want to do and if it's worth it and if it's the right thing. And I was convinced it was.
But now it will be years before the U.S. will even have a ship to launch astronauts into space. Until the next generation of spacecraft is developed, NASA will focus on developing new science and technologies aboard the International Space Station.
This is one fancy microwave oven.
Yeah, and what this is a full-scale mock-up of the robotic refueling mission payload.
This high-tech filling station that can refuel satellites and other space vehicles is going up on Atlantis for use on the International Space Station. It's an example of how NASA is trying to find practical, even commercial uses for the ISS. But as always, the human cargo gets most of the attention.
That's no coincidence, and the launch team and the flight team are all experienced people, and it'll show when we finally get off the ground, when Mother Nature allows that to happen.
Now, I should explain why there are only 4 pilots, or 4 astronauts rather, on this mission. That is because there is no backup shuttle, which is usually the case. So if these astronauts were to be stranded on the International Space Station, they'd have to be ferried one at a time on the Russian Soyuz rockets back to Earth. And even with just 4 astronauts, that would take a full year. So while NASA prepares for this historic final space shuttle launch tomorrow, the people in the Space Coast are preparing for the end of the shuttle. Our Don Germais explains how that means the end of thousands of jobs.
Ron Dubovecki spent 15 years as a warehouse manager for NASA. Now he's folding T-shirts for a living. He quit last month rather than be laid off this month.
With the shuttle program winding down and jobs losing, I just thought it'd be time for me to take a new direction.
You saw the writing on the wall.
Right. Because they got a lot of layoffs coming after this launch.
Dubovecki is one of thousands of space employees to be caught by the end of the shuttle program. By the time this launch is over, more than 8,000 space employees will be displaced. Local economists say for each space job created, there were 2.8 private sector jobs, like in restaurants. So thousands more in the private sector may lose their jobs. Dubovecki's boss at Space Shirts has no idea how many of her 13 employees she'll be able to keep.
I worry about it. They've become part of my family, and actually the whole space community has become part of our family. So I wonder.
Wonder and worry.
When this shuttle goes, I think it might be a ghost town here. I don't know. A lot of people are losing their jobs and leaving.
At Space Shirts, they will branch out into other T-shirts, hoping to make up for lost business. But frankly, they admit their future is as cloudy right now as the space programs. Near the Kennedy Space Center, Don Germais, ABC Action News.
Thank you, Don, and you can count on ABC Action News for complete coverage of this historic event. Our live reporters tomorrow begin at 5 a.m. Then at 11:26, Atlantis is scheduled to blast off. If it's a go, you can watch it right here on ABC Action News and online at abcactionnews.com.